Good evening, dear student. I guess I'm audible. Uh, since we have a small account connected with the session now, we are waiting for another 4 minutes, right? So accordingly, we'll be starting the session by 8. Dear student, let's start the session. Uh, you are welcome to the session one on the uh, principles of management. This is coming under your diploma in business management, right? Uh, so this is one of the course that you are going to follow in your diploma program. And the purpose of having this course unit in your diploma is to develop basic understanding relating to the fundamentals of the management as a subject. So, as prospective managers, maybe you are representing different fields such as the HR, the management, sometimes the operations, right? Many more like marketing and all. So, whatever the discipline to which you are going to serve, still you have to know the basics of the management, right? So, because you are going to manage a certain management function or an entire organization in one day. So, with that purpose, this course unit has been included into your syllabus. There, of course, we are going to talk about the basic concepts falling into the management discipline. There we'll learn what is meant by management, the basic management functions known as the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, and then other related topics such as the business communication, the business environment, and importantly, the evolution of management. So, similarly, we are going to learn uh, interesting topic coming under this course unit. So, as this is the first session, we are now going to learn on the introduction to the management. Right? Today, our focus is on introduction to management. I guess you see the slides, and you all know that these sessions are being conducted online. So, it's very much essential that you keep maintaining the interactivity, because unless otherwise you are participating actively, uh, we can't have a fruitful session. So, as a learner, as a student of an online class, you too have a responsibility to be actively participate in the session. That will help the lecturer and the other participant, and as well yourself to keep hanging on this, right? Otherwise, it may not be easy to sit in front of a computer or looking at your mobile phone throughout 2 hours of time. So, as long as we all contribute actively to make it uh, interesting, then it won't be a big deal for any one of us. So, I invite everyone to talk here, because you have the opportunity of talking without seeing, without being noticed by the others. So that's a great chance, right? So take the advantage of that chance. And as well, learning becomes even effective when we get the feedback, when we get the diverse inputs. Similarly, if you all can contribute with what you think and what you know, what you have experienced regarding the theoretical aspect we are going to talk here, that will be ultimately affect to the effectiveness of the session, right? So, with all these things, I request everyone to take part in the lectures actively. Okay, let's start then. The first topic of ours is to introduction to management. In here, we expect to discuss the fundamental aspects of the management. So it's very customary to talk about the overview of a subject as the inaugural session. Similarly, here, of course, in the introduction to management, I wish to uh, discuss with you the fundamental elements of the management to give an awareness about the subject. Right. So before proceeding in, I want to ask you a question. What you see here and what might be the cause for this situation? Yes? Can you see these slides? Yes or no? Yes, you can see. Thank you for the message. And what you can see here, what might be the uh, things going around in this situation, right? You can see some thing in this image, yes? Yeah, there's one answer. The leader seems to be angry. So, why you think that he might be angry? So, what might be the reason? Others? Why you are keeping silent? I was just telling you to be interactive. Otherwise, this will be not something easy, right? For both of us. For me and for you as well. So, what might be the reasons? Anyone? Yeah, one of our students was replying that this leader seems to be angry. What might be the cause? What do you see here? Can someone uh, describe this scenario? No idea. Yeah, more likely, right? He seems to be the team leader or manager, and looking at his appearance, we can guess that he might be blaming or shouting these people because of failure, right? Failure relating to something, right? Something not met, right? So, yeah. Uh, this is highly possible, right? So you can see this is yeah, we have another answer, something about heavy workload or any upcoming deadline. Yeah, of course, right? We can see the both answers say it is something related with the performance, right? So what they have done or what they haven't done, right? Or relating to something that they need to accomplish, right? So, uh, similarly, uh, you can just imagine the situation as a progress review, right? Whereas the manager is looking into the performance of the people, and you can see some charts are there here and there, right? So usually we use these bar charts and the pie charts and these line charts and all, donut chart and all, in order to demonstrate the progress relating to a certain activity. So it seems that the manager is not happy with what they have done so far, or maybe the relating the performance, right? So this kind of situation is resulted. It's because we haven't done something in a better way or the best way. It's because that we were not practicing the management. Yeah, it seems to be he's planning a project, right? Uh, yeah. So when it's come to the planning, we don't see that usually they are shouting at others, right? When it's come to reviewing the performance, often this can be possible, right? So we can see this is a situation which is unpleasant and unexpected. And if we practice the proper management, we will never ever meet this kind of situation, right? You should not have faced this kind of situation if you are practicing the management, right? So to avoid this kind of situation, the best way of doing thing is adapting the managerial theories, right? Following the management fundament. So in this session, we expect to discuss the introduction to the management. And these are our learning outcomes. We will be trying to explain why managers are important to organization. You have seen that these managers shouting. So there is someone who is reviewing the performance of the people. And when only you are shouting, they realize that they have to do something. Right? So I'm not telling that this manager is practicing the mass optimum way, right? Maybe shouting is not the right way to communicate it. Anyhow, there should be someone who is looking after work being done, whether the work has been done by the members or not, right? So, first we will be explaining why managers are important. Then we'll be tell who managers are and where they work. We have to know who they are and their workplaces. Then we are going to describe the functions, roles, and skills of the managers. Next, describe the factors that are reshaping and redefining the manager's job. And finally, we'll look in the value of studying management because now by following this program, you expect to uh, study the management, right? So, studying management, let's see what sort of value, right? So, this is what we are going to achieve at the end of our session, right? Let's first start with the explain why managers are important to organization. Here, what you see is why are managers important, right? So, importance is listed here, and what is happening without management is also mentioned there. Let's have a look. First, we will have a look on what it would be if we don't have management. Without management situation, let's consider that. So you can see here, if you don't have management, there will be poor functioning of executive. What does it mean? Poor functioning of executives? Exactly what you have seen in this image. Many of you mentioned that this is right. So this is the manager, right? So you identify or you guess he as a manager, right? If he is a manager, these are the executives or his fellow workers, fellow workers. Thereby, uh, this shows that manager is supervising or monitoring the work of the executive. That's how it's normally happen in the organization. So in the organization as well, you need to have managers to monitor the executive. If you are not monitoring the executive, what will be happening? Yes. Okay. So I think it's clear. People may not be getting things seriously if there's no one monitoring them, right? So this has been studied in a theory known as Hawthorne experiment, right? There was a study conducted times back early in the first industrial revolution time. We call it the Hawthorne's experiment. There, of course, it is identified that people behave differently when they are being observed. Similarly, if there's no one to monitor the performance of the executive, their performance will be not to not up to the optimum level. So they will start functioning poorly. Poor functioning of executives will be there if you don't have managers because there's no one looking on to you, right? So if you don't understand anything and if you have any concerns, please raise your hand or you can use the chat area or else it's better you can talk, right? කතා කරන එක තමයි වැදගත්ම කාරණය. මේක ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් විදිහට යන එක. මොකද ඒකෙන් ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩාක් කරුණු තේරුම් ගන්න එහෙම නැත්නම් ගොඩක් වඩා හොඳින් ඇබ්සෝබ් කරගන්න ලැබෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ විදිහට මොනවා හරි කරුණකදී ඔයාලට ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා නම් please let me know so then I can uh, discuss it further. Okay, right? So the first most problem that we have to experience is poor functioning of executive, right? So these executives who are uh, looking the operation level may not be functioning very well. So that might be affecting to the yeah. So we may not able to reach our target accordingly if we find our executives were not performing very well. And again, there's no coordination among staff workers. Yes, no coordination among staff workers because manager is the one who is acting as a central hub. And he's the one who is collecting all the output of the members. Right. So if there's no one to uh, represent this unit, right? Maybe let's assume marketing manager, right? If the marketing manager is not there, right? So without a manager, you find it very difficult to coordinate among the staff workers because there should be some external force coming. Right. Next problem is if we don't have managers, what will happen? The mistakes. Not only it leads to mistake, again it will be leading to repetition of mistake. The same error might be doing over and over. Right. Repetition of mistakes will be there if there's no one known as manager to correct them. Right? Whenever an employee or a subordinate is doing something wrong, which is not the appropriate way, the manager has a duty to teach that person, or else it can assign another person. Right. That is a repetition of mistake. The other one is more wastage. Right? So all of these reasons are quite uh, visible, right? So more wastage. Whatever the things we consume, right, we generate wastage. And this wastage, in most of the time, are released uh, without any inspection. But the effect of them over the production is reflected in the cost of production and ultimately in the unit price as well. So that will leads to increase the unit price. Right. So more wastage will be ruining the company because whatever the wastage you lost is all about money, right? Then comes the low production. Since no one is motivated and no one is looking on them, then there will be no production at all. And again, employees are not controlled. Right. No control on employees. Yeah, definitely. When there's no manager, then everyone will be behaving according to the way that they want. Like in a classroom, when there's no class teacher, all the class members are starting behaving differently, right? Uncontrollable way. Then the financial loss, right? After going through these kind of serious things, and finally, as a result of each and every fact here, there will be no growth at the organization. The organization will be stagnating without achieving any goal, right? And when it's come to the importance of having a manager, they will be ensuring smooth operation of daily procedures. Right. So if there's no growth in the company, it will be not regarded as a good place to work. Right. So those are the consequences of not having managers. Right. Anything else? Can anyone propose any consequence other than this? මේවට අමතරව තව මොනවද වෙන්න පුළුවන් කල්පනාකරුවෝ නැතිවීම හේතුවෙන්? Right. So it seems that there's no other reason because in here almost every reason is within them. Okay, so provided that these are the negative outcome that we happen to experience if there's no management, let's see briefly what are the important. First thing is they ensure smooth operation of daily proceeding. Right. So they ensure smooth operation of daily procedures because they will be monitoring and observing the performance of others. Since the manager is monitoring, the operational people will be putting their operational plan into the action. So, for to monitor the daily procedures, we need managers. As they are monitoring, everyone will be committing to do their part. Right. So that is one main important. The other one is they act as the intermediary between staff and the ownership. Who are owners? Yes, who are owners? අයිතිකරුවන් කියන්නේ අපි කාටද? Owners ලා. Yes, yes. Who are the owners? Owners are the persons who do holds the shares of a company, right? Right. So, yeah, exactly. So, who invests to get the profit are the owners. So, owners usually hold the director positions of a company. And when it's come to the operation level staff, the relationship between these ground level people and as well the owners is quite great, right? There's a very big gap in between these two parties. And as a result, yes, if someone want to talk, Malki, you want to say something, right? You can unmute yourself and talk here, right, regarding the subject matters. If not, please keep your mic muted. Right. So, these managers are the one who plays an intermediate role between the staff and the ownership. So, why these managers? Right. So, the managers here take the staff messages to the top managers, and the top managers are right. Okay, now we see there should be a manager in between the staff and the ownership, because you have right. So this is quite essential to maintain the relationship between staff and the ownership. So this is materialized usually through the managers. Right. Let's see the other one. They can identify bottlenecks in a business structure. What does it mean, the bottleneck? Let's see this. This is how you see a neck of a bottle when you turn it other way, upside down. right? This is what we call the bottleneck, this part. And this is the only uh, mechanism through which we can identify the bottlenecks. So when there's greater input rather than the output, we call it there's a bottleneck. Right. What you see is the managers are supporting to solve the problems prevailing in the system, right? We have an answer. A bottleneck is the weakest or the slowest part of a business process that hold everything else back. Yes, exactly. It is a technical way of defining what a bottleneck is. So there's a greater pressure from here because you have many input. Input is greater, whereas the output, right? From here you have output. This is less compared to the input because of the process, right? Due to a process inherent reason, or maybe for many reasons, they are create a bottleneck. So if the managers are there, they can identify bottlenecks in the business structure. Right? So identifying bottlenecks and solving them and using them. Next one is they delegate tasks to ensure optimal efficiency. That is another reason why the managers are important. The reason is that they delegate tasks to ensure optimal efficiency. Okay. Next thing is they delegate tasks to ensure optimal efficiency. Delegating means they decompose a big task and different components. Right? Operational efficiency, what do you mean by operational efficiency? If you can keep the cost of operation minimum. Right. And finally, they set the tone of the workplace. What do you mean by the tone of the workplace? This is an indirect word, tone of the work. It says the managers are setting the tone of the workplace. What is it? And for what purpose this is important? Right. So these are the reasons. Yeah, I was asking you the tone of the workplace. Sorry, when myself forget the same. What do you mean by tone of the workplace? Yes, you have to talk, right? Otherwise, it's very hard for everyone. Right. So tone of the workplace mean the way it is been happening. It's defined simply how it would be. Right. So that is setting the tone of the workplace because they are the one who will give the life to the workplace because they usually deal with the lower level parliamentary and the upper level the top management. Right. So why now you know what will be happening. Yes, the tone of the work is the overall feeling and attitude of the workplace. So thank you very much for your reply. Yes, it's how you feel. And that one is also going to be originated from the managers. Right. So by now it's very clear for us what will be happening to our companies if you don't have managers. And right now, since we do have managers, we are experiencing these benefits, right? So it gives us the answer why the management is important. Right? So you can see, and if you carefully observe, managers can handle uncertain, complex, and the chaotic times. That means so they can we can rely on them, the managers, during uncertainty. And sometimes managers are being uh, some many more deadlines. And again, it is very critical to get things done from them as well. When you have all these critical elements, right? The next one is they are critical to getting things done. The managers are the one who has born skill, born experience in getting things done. Management is not something that you are doing things properly. Management කියලා කියන්නේ අපි දේවල් හරිම නිවැරදි ආකාරයට කිරීම නෙවෙයි. So that has to be there. Apart from that, apart from these reasons, the managers are required for any organization. They do matter. Right. So all of these reasons supporting the claim that managers were doing their job exactly, and there is no. Right. So since they are very critical for getting things done, and as well, uh, they are felt simply if you don't have managers in an organization, you're going to feel it. Even though it's hard to get it, and as well, it won't happen physically anyhow, since now we have gone with this hybrid pattern. Right. So then now we know organizations are there and there are good things happening and some bad things. Right. Let's see how we're going to identify these people, the managers. The problem is who are managers? Right. Who are they? As to your understanding, who are managers? Yes, any guesses? Any ideas? Yes, we are getting answers through chat. And again, it's only Rimsa. I request other members to talk here because we need to maintain the interactivity, and as well that's helped me to do this session with uh, significant uh, right, level of interesting, right? So it has to be something that touches you, right? This way it may not that effective. So to raise the effectiveness, please do um, communicate, right? Yeah, as she was telling, they are the people, right? And they coordinate and supervise work to help organization achieve the objectives. And again, they are basically a person who is in charge of people and work in a business. Yes, this one can also be taken as a good definition of a manager. So first and foremost, the manager is an individual. Of course, when it comes to the teams, we call management team. Right. So these individuals who coordinate and oversee the work of other people so that organization goals can be accomplished. Right. So this is what the managers are doing. What are they doing? They do coordinate from one end. What they do? Coordinate and oversee the work of other people. So this is something that we are doing. We'll coordinate. Right. So, as managers, these individuals will be doing two things. One is coordinating, right. So, they are managers are the individuals who coordinate and covers the work of other people so that organization goals can be accomplished. So, this is a person who is supporting us, right? So, manager can be defined as an individual who coordinates and oversees the work of other people so that organization goals can be accomplished. So, management, right? Let's have a look on what they have to say about the managers. Actually, you don't, right? You don't need to note down these things because one thing you are getting the recording, right? If you have any problems later, you can refer the recording and again for the absentees. The other thing is these notes can be obtained from your coordinator and the same note, right? If it is the concern, Right. Okay, right now we know why the study of management is important and who are the managers. The most important thing in this definition is organizational goals accomplished. Right. Okay, now let's see what type of managers are available for us to work with. Most of us usually see a similar type, right? Instead, now in this session, right. Now we are going to classify them so that we can learn them easily. Another classification of managers will identify three categories of them. First category is first line managers. The second is the middle managers, whereas the third category is known as top managers. The role played by the first line managers is to manage the non-managerial employees. Right. So the first line managers are the individuals who manage the work of non-managerial employees. In an organization, we have managers and we have staff, right? So this staff, non-managerial people, right? So this middle level managers, let's see the role of middle level managers. They are the one who manage the work of first line managers. Here, first line managers, එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියන පළමු පෙළ කළමනාකරන. First level managers, first line managers, right? So when you, right. Now let's see the third category, third classification, the highest classification. Right. That is the three categories that we can easily identify based on the level of them. Initially, the first line managers are looking into the non-managerial employees. And these non-managerial employees, right. So top managers, individuals who are responsible for, right. So the top managers are the one who is going to take over the ownership. Right. So, right. So this classification of managers is based on the fact. So these individuals who are responsible for making organization-wide decisions. Right. By now we classify these managers and we identify their roles. Right. Let's see what is each level and what is expected. Right. So what you see in the screen is the Right. Now we are going to relate each of these stage with the things to be done. Right. Here you can see. Right. So when you take the first level, the top layer, you can see in this pyramid at the very top. In the top managers category, right. So whatever the hierarchy you take, you will definitely understand that right, right. Next, let's have a look on other way of there. Uh, the middle managers. So here you see three levels of measurement, the family hierarchy, and there you are right. By now we have identified why it is important to have this, and then who are managers, and clarifying the managers. Let's come to the level of management. We have top, middle, east line, right? So the top managers are there. By number, they are very limited. Maybe for some medium to small businesses, they have only few team members. Right. So at the top level, the top managers are less because it is reflected in many more areas. First and foremost, everyone has to attend the lectures, unless otherwise there's a very strong positive. Let's see how it works. You can see here three levels of measurement. Right? Similarly, uh, it has to be something that help you to achieve a career progression. So each and every layer of this organization. Right. Okay. Now there's a very simple question. What is it? Where do managers work? This is a very interesting and a small question. Yes? Organizations are the one which has been arranged objectively by the people, right? So organizations are usually the arrangement done by the people, most probably by the managers. So they are deliberate arrangement. What do you mean by deliberate arrangement? The things that we do with a purpose, right? If we do something with a purpose, we call it as a deliberate arrangement. So organization, they are within any social element or maybe an ecological aspect or whatsoever known as organization. එහෙම වචනයක් තිබුණ නෑ සංවිධාන කියලා. But later, so this deliberate arrangement of people assembled to accomplish some specific purpose. So we are setting this arrangement, the organization, with the purpose of achieving some specific objective, aim, purpose. And essentially, this is something that we can't achieve individually. Otherwise, we may not setting up this organization, the common one, right? If in a case that you find difficult or hard to reach that activity, right? So uh, the organizations are having these characteristics. Right? We have a distinct purpose. Having a distinct purpose or a goal is one characteristic. Then it has to be composed of people, right? Composed of people. Next thing, a deliberate structure, right? An arrangement where there is a hierarchical order. This hierarchical order support in clearly defining who reports to whom. කවුද කාටද රිපෝට් කරන්න වාර්තා කරන්න කවුද කාවද සුපර්වයිස් කරන්න කියන එක පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. And you see that the outcome of a certain person will be an input for other people. As a result, this has to be done in a collective way. Right? So this collective way is indeed is needed for us to achieve this purpose, because this is something that you can't achieve individually. මෙතනට තනියෙන් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ළඟා කරගන්න පුළුවන් අරමුණක් පරමාර්ථයක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක නිසා තමයි කණ්ඩායමක් විදිහට එකතු වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම කණ්ඩායමක් වැඩ කරනකොට අපි අපටම ගැලපෙන ව්‍යුහයක් හදාගන්න. Right? So the common characteristics of organization include the goals, or else the purpose, and the structure, and the people. So this is the location of the managers. Managers work here. So then, who are the managers? Are they owners? කවුද managers? ඒගොල්ලෝද අයිතිකාරයෝ? Or are they the workers who do the work here? Then what else? Yes? Who are they? Yes, so what is the capacity held by the managers in an organization? So they are the intermediaries. They act as agents of the owners, because owners are the investors who has invested their money. Right? So you may not able to properly conduct an organization without the managers. We have seen it in the first slide, right? There, of course, we discussed. So since the investors, the owners has invested their money seeking a return, a fair return, right? Maybe as profit, or maybe as in any other form. Somehow, when it's come to this, the owners themselves may not be able to deal with the people. Right. So, when you identify the managers in the organization structure, you can see they are performing an agent's role. ඒගොල්ලෝ අයිතිකරුවන්ගේ නියෝජිතයෝ. අයිතිකරුව කරන්න ඕන දේ කරන්න තමයි කළමනාකරුවෝ ඉන්නේ. Since the owners are not management expert, they don't know exactly how things get done by others. අන් අයගෙන් වැඩ කරවා ගැනීම කියන සයින්ස් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් ආර්ට් එක අප්‍රෝච් එක කළමනාකරණයේ ඉන්න සේවකයෝ දන්නේ නැහැ. That's why owners දන්නේ නැහැ. That's why the owners has recruited, or maybe they have come to an agreement regarding how we are going to do it. And since the managers have expertise in the management, they can smoothly conduct the organization with the support of the managers, whereas the owners play a very nominal. Right. So here are the common characteristics, and by now we know that they are agents of the owners. And they have sent these agents as the managers to look into your company on behalf of them. Right. Here see the relationship among these three characteristics. Have a look on them. Here it has distinct purpose. Right. So based on this diagram, you can see only very few area. Right. So This common approach among these characteristics will be heavily used in future. Then, so let's see what they do. So, managers, simply the management, involve coordinating and overseeing the work activities of others. There's two main things. One is the coordinating. The other one is the overseeing the work activities of others. The more simple way of defining management is getting things done by others. Right. So management involves set of activities. Among them, two are prominent. One is the coordinating. We have seen in the first slide, without management, there won't be anyone coordinating the activities. Because in an organization, among the structures, there are very logical connectivity. Right. So coordinating and overseeing the work activities of others, getting things done by others. අනිත් අය ලවා වැඩ කරවා ගැනීම. Right. So management is doing the coordinating and the overseeing the work activities of others. Right. So by now we know what involves the management and who are the right. Here it is mentioned what they really do. They do planning, organizing and implementing, and they are doing monitoring the goals and directing employees and evaluating goals and employee resources. So manager has to attend these things. Right. And the most important two words right? The most important two words here, right here is effectively and efficient. I think you have seen that these two words are being heavily used in many organizational related aspects. What do you mean by effectiveness and efficiency? Yes? No idea. Yes, someone can help me telling what the effectiveness and efficiency is? Efficiency simply means doing things right. Efficiency and effectiveness. Under the efficiency, it says doing things right. What does it mean doing things right? It's simply getting the most output for the least input. It's related to the operational efficiency, whether we are able to perform the right method, doing the things right, without any wastage, right? On the other hand, effectiveness means doing the right thing, whether we are doing the thing that we should be doing. අපි කළ යුතු දේ කිරනවා. ඒ ආකාරයට නිවැරදි දේ කිරීම තමයි effectiveness කියන්නේ. ඒතර මේ නිවැරදි දේ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? What do you mean by the right thing? මොකද්ද නිවැරදි දේ කියන්නේ? නිවැරදි දේ කියලා කියන්නේ ආයතනික අරමුණු ළඟා කර ගැනීම සඳහා අපි විසින් කළ යුතු දේවල්. අපි කරන යම්කිසි කාර්යයක් අපේ ආයතනික අරමුණ ළඟා කරගන්න උදව්වක් වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒක නිවැරදි දේ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. For example, let's say a commercial bank wants to be the first ever virtual bank by 2030. 2030 වෙද්දී commercial bank එකට ඕන වෙනවා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම virtual bank එකක් වෙන්න. So anything supporting that objective are known as right thing. අපේ ඒ අරමුණට උදව් කරන ඕනම දෙයක් right දෙයක් වෙන්න. සේවකයන්ව පුහුණු කිරීම, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ digital literacy එක වැඩි කරන්න කටයුතු කිරීම, advanced ICT equipments මිලදී ගැනීම, බැංක් එකේ ICT digital infrastructure එක ශක්තිමත් කිරීම වගේ දේවල් ගොඩක්. Engage in CSR activity, it may not be directly related to this goal achievement. අපි CSR activities වල යෙදීම මේ අරමුණට digitalize වීම අරමුණට ඍජු සම්බන්ධයක් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So that is not something right. Even though doing CSR is good, but in this context, it is not having any appeal over the digitalization. Right? So that's what we call effectiveness. Efficiency, on the other hand, is doing things right. නිවැරදිව දෙයක් කිරීම. දෙයක් නිවැරදිව කිරීම තුළින් අපතේ යන්නේ නැහැ. වේස්ටේජ් එක නැති වෙනවා. දැනට අපට වැඩි නිමවුමක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. So in the efficiency, we look at getting more output for the least input. That means, assume we use 100 kilos in order to produce 1,000 unit. If we are efficient, we should be able to get 1,005 units out of the 100 kilos. Or else the same thing can be done by keeping the output fixed. Right. I think these two terms are clear for everyone, right? මේ දෙක මේ terms එක වඩා හොඳින් පැහැදිලි වෙන්න ඕන. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉදිරියට යද්දී අපි මේ effectiveness efficiency කියන වචන දෙක නිතරම භාවිතා කරනවා. ඒවයි යෙදවුම් ගැන හොඳ අවබෝධයක් තියෙනවා. Right. So efficiency always looking at the mean. That means the way, the method. And its focus is resource utilization. Right. And when it's come to the effectiveness, it's about the end. That means the outcome. Goal achievement. Attaining the goal is the effectiveness. And resource usage is something related with the efficiency. So the management, they try to lower the resource waste. That is high efficiency. And high goal attainment, high effectiveness. Right. We know that efficiency deal with the resource utilization and the effectiveness is about goal achievement. Have a look on this thing and tell me what you can understand. These are 4 scenarios where you can identify effective and efficient option. Tell me why certain things become effective and efficient and why not the other. right? Let's take one scenario, right? So this is a scenario where the customer has placed an order for a something, right? Right? It seems to be a pizza, right? Let's assume it's a pizza. He has ordered a pizza, right? And this, uh, we are going to identify how the effectiveness and efficiency is delivered. Health and quality attributes are critical to be effective, and effectiveness make you excel. Efficient is doing things right, and the effective is doing the right thing. Delivery and the cost attributes are the critical to be efficient. Efficiency keep you in the market. Here, let's take a situation where both ineffective and inefficiency there. Right. What is being asked by the customer? Just a pizza. Let's see whether they have got it. Of course, they have got it. He has got it, but it is too cold. By the time that he is delivering, it is cold, right? So customer is not happy, right? He is angry. Cold food. And again, it takes much time to deliver the order. Right. So you see, ineffective. How this become ineffective? Because they have not delivered what he is expected, what he is ordered. He ordered a pizza which is hot, but he's getting a cold pizza instead. So it is ineffective. And the inefficiency, how it comes inefficient? Because it took much time for them to produce it, timing. Process was very slow, right? So that can be considered as a situation where ineffective and efficiency lies, right? Let's move to this scenario. Ineffective but efficient. Let's see what they have got. He was expecting a pizza while he got a tea instead. He's angry, he's not happy because they delivered the wrong food. So it is not effective, ineffective. But the tea was delivered very quickly. So the efficiency is there. Efficient but not effective. Right here, effective and inefficient. He got the right food that he has ordered. Correct food. Yet, it is slow. It takes much time for them to do it. That means the efficiency is not there, right? And this one, the ideal one, where you need both effective and efficient objectives. So you order pizza, you get this, and you are happy. You get the correct order, what you want. And then You got it quickly as well. So that shows the efficiency. So the first scenario is both effective and efficient. Similarly, in organization as well, we have to maintain effectiveness and efficiency all the time. And it's a duty of a manager. Right. So these two terms are quite important for the management because every organization has to be effective. That means they have to do something that is aligned with their goal. If they are doing something inconsistent with their goals, you can't accept it as effective. And again, you will not able to meet the overall goals in long term if you are not doing effective things. And දීර්ඝකාලයේදී goals achieve කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද අපි daily කරන්නේ අපේ goal achieve කිරීමට පටහැනි දේවල්. ඒකට support එකක් උදව්වක් කරන දේවල් නෙමෙයි. අනිත් අතින් ගත්තම අකාර්යක්ෂමතාව කියන්නේ cost එක. waste වෙනවා, වරදිනවා, quality එක නැති වෙනවා. Right. So knowing effectiveness and efficiency is quite important for the continuation of this. Right. Right. So since we are approaching our ending time, let me summarize what we have done today. Today is our first day. So we started defining what management is, and essentially we looked at why the managers are important for the organization, and we did a comparison between having managers and not having managers. Right. So we compare this without management and with management situation. And we saw that they are very essential for our business organization because they can handle uncertain, complex, and difficult situations. Right. So after that, we identify who they are, and then we classify them as the first line managers, middle managers, and the top managers. Then we identify for what is the role that they were having in each and every level. We looked at organization and identify their common goals. Right. So after that, we identify where the managers work and the characteristics of the organization, and we identify what do managers do, whereas we identify the difference between effectiveness and efficiency, right? So that was the content that we discussed today. Do you have any problem or concern relating to it? Anything you want to add to this? Anything which is not clear for you? ඔයාලට තේරුණොත් නැති තැන් තියෙනවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් further අහලා clarify කරගන්න ඕනයි කියලා හිතෙන දේවල් තියෙනවද? add කරන්න examples වගේ දේවල්? Right. So the rest of the content we are going to discuss next week, right? If you don't have any concern, we can wind up the session. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් මොනවද ගැටලු තියෙනවද? තේරුම් ගැනීමේ අපහසුතා? Right. So then if you don't have questions, let's wind up for the day. And we'll be meeting again to discuss the rest of the content of this session another day. Before that, if you have any chance, any doubts, sorry, please do present. Right, මොනවත් ගැටලු නැති බව පේන නිසා මම session එක වෙන් කරනවා. අපි next day එකේ බලමු ඊළඟ මේකේ ඉතුරු කොටස complete කරන්න. Good night all of you.